Good morning, children. Let us continue our lesson transportation in plants. So that is transporting of materials in plants, how it is happening. So in yesterday's class you learned about the transportation of water, how it is going to happen in the plants through xylem tissue, and what are the different parts associated with that. Root hairs are there, then root is there. In that xylem vessels which are present, or xylem tissue whichever is present, that is going to help in transporting water in the upward direction. So there what you have learnt means the process of osmosis is going to take place. So from movement of material, movement of water is going to happen from low concentration to higher concentration through plasma membrane of the cells. It is going to happen. Okay. So apart from that, that water when it enters into the root hairs from the soil particles, so it enters into the vacuoles of the root hairs, and from there, because of pressure whichever is created in that, so the water is going to be moving in the upward direction. Is it clear? So it reaches the xylem tissue, then xylem is going to help in transporting water to the different parts of the plant. So you learned there the root pressure is also going to help in transporting water in plants. Apart from that, transpiration process is also going to help in conducting water in the plants in upward direction. Is it clear to you? Then, so you might have observed different areas where we observe more number of trees. There in such places we can see evaporation of water. It is going to happen more and more. So because of that, more amount of rains also we can observe. Is it not, children? That is the reason near the forest regions we can see more amounts of rains. Is it clear to you? Then, so you know that for example, if you take here the amount of water passing through a plant is often considerable, like that it is given. So oak tree can transpire as much as 900 liters of water per day, and little amount of it is used by that, and remaining it is going to be that 900 liters of water is getting evaporating, that is through transpiration process. Is it clear to children? Then here each fully grown maize plant, maize crop, so transpires 15 liters of water per week, and 1 acre of maize. So the maize plant crop whichever is grown in 1 acre land, it is going to transpire more than 13,25,000 liters of water in a 100-day growing season. So it is it completes its life cycle in 100 days. Then a big mango tree will transpire from 750 to more than 3,500 liters of water per day during growing seasons. Is it clear to children? See how much water it is just transpired through the stomata of leaves, which helps the plants to pull water in the upward direction. Is it clear to you? So now we will learn the transport of mineral salts. Transport of mineral salts. So you know that different types of materials are needed for the growth and development of plants or any other organism. So what do we call such type of materials? Means they are called as nutrients. Nutrients. So how these nutrients are going to be taken up by the plants? Okay. So these nutrients are present in two forms or two types. I can write two types. Which are said to be macronutrients and macronutrients and micronutrients. So macronutrients are the nutrients which are needed by the plants in large amounts, like nitrogen, sulfur, you can take potassium. All these are said to be macronutrients. They are in need of the plants in larger quantity. Whereas micronutrients means they are used by the plants in very much small or little amounts. So they are called as micronutrients, which are also called as trace nutrients. Is it clear to children? Like zinc, molybdenum, cobalt. So all these are needed in the smaller quantity. So these nutrients, how they are going to be transported in the plants. So you know that the nutrients are getting dissolved in the water, whichever is supplied to the field. Then it forms the nutrient solution or it forms the salt solutions, and that salt solutions where it contains that nutrients are going to be carried. So is it so easy to carry that nutrients? Means it is not there like that. For example, if you take sodium chloride, NaCl, sodium chloride it is said to be. So this sodium chloride salt, it gets dissolved in water. Have you followed? So as it is that sodium chloride cannot be taken up by the plant. Just like that, another one, magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate. So this is also another salt. It is not going to be taken up. Even if it dissolves in water, as it is this magnesium sulfate or NaCl, they cannot be taken up like that. So how they can be taken up by the plants, or how they can be reaching the cells in the plants, means these are first getting dissolving in water. After they get dissolved in water, what is going to happen? They form as electrically charged particles. So electrically charged particles. So like NaCl, if you take, so it will have Na plus and Cl minus. Na plus and Cl minus. Is it clear to children? Like that, if you take MgSO4, magnesium sulfate, so how it will be? You can say that Mg plus 2 and SO4 minus 2. So what are they? These are said to be ions. Okay, positively charged particles. Is it clear to you? So they form as positive, they are very much actively forming as positively charged particles, and through water they are going to be transported with the help of with xylem tissue and reaching the different parts of the plant. Is it clear to children? So like that, here the nutrients are going to be taken up. So here it is not so easy process to understand how these mineral salts are going to be taken up by the plants. Have you followed? So you know that by the process called that diffusion. So diffusion is also happening in the plants, in the cells, where it helps in transporting materials. Okay. So if we observe this process where these mineral salts are going to be transported, how it is going to happen means that is because of other than diffusion, active transport. Active transport. So active transport process is going to happen in the living cells, which helps in transporting the mineral salts in the upward direction. Is it clear to children? Then, so this active transport, about this in detail you will learn in higher classes, but one point I can tell you, which you learned in the 9th class plasma membrane lesson, that is that exosmosis and endosmosis, how it is going to be happening. So energy is needed for that. Okay, so that energy is needed to transport that nutrients in the form of ions into the different parts of the plants through xylem tissue, and these nutrients are getting dissolved in water. Then they are going to be transported into the different parts of the plant through xylem tissue. So from xylem tissue they can move to the phloem tissue also. Is it not, children? Why? Because each and every part of the plant is in need of nutrients. Have you followed, children? Because the minerals are very important for the growth and development of plants. Have you followed? Is it not? So the different minerals which you learnt in 9th class, macronutrients, micronutrients. So what are the different uses of nitrogen or potassium or sulfur? In what for they are used? Means they are helping in proper growth and development of different parts of the plants. So that is happening because of nutrients, minerals. So that mineral salts are going to be taken up by the plants through the xylem tissue in the form of ions. That point you have to remember. Is it clear to children? So that ions are just taken up from one cell to another cell. Gradient pressure is created. Have you followed? So energy is needed for that, to push that these ions from one cell to other cell. So that process is called as active transport, and through that active transport the transporting of mineral salts is going to happen in the plants. Have you followed? So these mineral salts have to dissolve in water. Is it clear to you? So like that here it is going to happen. So this active transport is again of two types, from low concentration to higher concentration. The movement of minerals is going to happen by application of energy. Then this active transport is taking place in two ways, primary transport and secondary transport. So that you will learn in higher classes. I hope you understood. So as it is, the salts are not going to be taken up by the plants. So in what way that mineral nutrients are going to be taken? So they are going to be changed to actively charged particles, and those are going to be transported through the xylem tissue. From xylem tissue again they will move to phloem also, and they are transported to the different parts of the plant. Is it clear to children? Because the nutrients are very important for the growth and development of plants. So now we will come to the next point. Till now we learned about that xylem, how it helps in transporting water and mineral salts. Is it not? Yes. So now we learn about the transport of materials with the phloem tissue. Is it not? So till now we learned with xylem. Now this phloem tissue, how it is helping in transporting. So what it is going to transport? It transports food material. Is it not, children? So now xylem helps in transporting water and mineral salts. So now phloem, how it transports food from the leaves to the different parts of the plant. That we have to learn now in the transport of materials in the plants. So you know that the plants are preparing food by the process called photosynthesis. In the photosynthesis, the sugars are prepared. First sugars are prepared, that we call it as glucose. So glucose, as it is prepared in the process of photosynthesis in the leaves, from the leaves it is going to be transported to different parts, especially the parts where they are vigorously growing and the food where it is stored. To such parts the sugars are going to be transported through phloem tissue. Have you followed what I said? So phloem tissue transports the food material. Is it clear to children? Then from the leaves to the different parts of the plant, especially actively growing, like tip of stems or tip of roots, or where new branches are going to develop. So in such parts the food is needed. Is it not, children? So to that parts the phloem is continuously transporting the food material whichever is prepared in the leaves. So where this xylem and phloem is present, you know it very well. Any part if we see at the center, we are observing like in a vein, in the leaves, in the veins region we can observe. So here we can observe the vascular tissue, xylem and phloem, and in the stem also, or in the roots also, branches, leaves. At the center we are going to observe this vascular bundle. which contains xylem and phloem. Is it not, children? Then, so now here the tissues which come under transport tissue or vascular tissue, it is continuous. A column like it forms in all parts of the plant. So because of that, what will happen? Continuous supply of materials, that is water and mineral salts, from root to the different parts of the plant is going to happen, and food whichever is prepared in the leaves by the process photosynthesis is transported to the actively growing parts, and the food whichever is stored in different parts. Is it not? So in which parts the food is stored in plants? In grains. Is it not? Then in fruits. So in such parts the food is stored in the form of starch. So that is going to happen. So how we can know that phloem is helping in transporting food? So how we can study exactly that phloem is only going to perform that activity in transporting food material means? So biologists conducted experiments on aphids. Is it clear to you? So aphids are said to be insects which are said to be green in color. Have you seen? They are in a green color. Green in color. Okay, aphids are type of insects which are said to be green in color. That's why they are called as green flies. Is it clear to children? And these aphids, what do? Directly they want to depend on the food, ready-made food. Means what? With the help of proboscis. Proboscis is said to be the mouth part of the insect. So with the help of that proboscis, a needle-like structure, that needle-like structure is directly piercing into the suppose if it is stem, so at the center whatever that the xylem and phloem we have, and exactly that proboscis will reach this xylem and phloem, and they are going to suck the sugars or the glucose whichever is prepared in the plant, because that phloem is transporting the sugars. Is it not, children? So directly that proboscis will be piercing into the phloem tissue and it is going to collect the sugars. Okay. So have you observed any time that clustering of some kind of flies? You can take aphids example, or other insects in the on the stems or on the leaves. Yes, you might have observed. Is it not? So what for they are observing? They are clustering there on the around the parts of the plants like stems or branches to collect the ready-made food from the phloem tissue. So how the scientists came to know? So when the aphid is in action, when it is collecting or when it is piercing into the tissue, phloem tissue, that aphid was killed, and when it is tested and when it is analyzed, immediately that they came to know that the proboscis and the mouth parts of that insects were found that they are having the amino acids and sugars. So amino acids and sugars, what are they? They are the food whichever is prepared in the leaves that is transported through the phloem tissue. Is it clear to children? So in that way the scientists studied about that phloem is helping in transporting the food material from different from leaves to the different parts of the plant. Is it clear to children? Then you might have observed any is like what is that beans, if we observe beans plants, if we observe or cluster beans, if we observe plants. Okay, any vegetable yielding plants if we observe. So these insects as they are clustering the stem portions, if we separate them and if we touch the parts of the plants, we feel somewhat sticky nature. Okay, మొక్క యొక్క భాగాలన్నీ కూడా ఒక గమ్మీ లాగా అనిపిస్తూ ఉంటాయి మనకి. వై What is the reason for that? Why do we feel like that stickiness when we touch the stems which are attacked by the pests like insects? Is it clear to you? So that is because of some amount of sugars or amino acids they will be present as it is on the parts of the plants where the insect attack we are observing. Is it clear to you? On the plants. So that is the reason we observe honey dews on the plant parts. So excess amount of that sugars or amino acids whichever are sucked by these insects that will be present as it is. Some amount will be left over on the stem portions or any other parts of the plants. So that is the reason we are observing stickiness on the plant parts. Is it clear to children? So that fluid contains amino acids and sugars, means that is food only which is prepared in photosynthesis and it is transported through the phloem tissue. Is it clear to children? In that way the phloem is helping in transporting food material prepared in the leaves to the different parts of the plant. So which cells of the phloem is helping in the transporting all that parts? So comparatively sieve tubes are, phloem sieve cells are very much extremely small, and to that these aphids are going to be piercing and they are going to collect the food whichever is prepared by the plant. Is it clear to you? So with this activity we can learn that phloem is helping in transporting photosynthetic or food prepared by the plants in photosynthesis. So now we can learn another activity. We can do another activity also, how this phloem is helping in transporting the food material. Is it clear to you? And how it is helping in growth of the plants. So have you observed any time trees, if you see bark is removed or stem portions are removed like that? Have you observed any time in your houses? Is it clear? Or any other areas or in the gardens? Have you observed? So if it is done, if you have observed, then that for that also some reason is there. Okay. So now let us learn that. So we have to so the scientists, what they have done means they selected the tree, any tree, okay, and what they have done, they cut the bark, then epidermal cells, all they cut, and a ring is made like this. A ring is made. Have you followed what I am explaining? So this is stem. So a ring is made, only here the tissue it is kept. So all the parts are, outermost layers all are removed. Bark, epidermal cells, cortex cells, all are removed. Okay. So after few days when we observe it, as you know that phloem helps in transporting food material. So what will be our observation after few days? So after a few days, what is going to happen means the ring whichever is seen in above direction. So here, okay, it bulges like this. It bulges like this. What is the reason? What is the reason here? Because the phloem tissue is transporting material here, and so that that circumference of this area is going to be just increasing. Okay. So still if we observe after few days, we can see here growth of hairs also. How is it happening means that is because of this portion is supplied with food material. Is it clear to children? So because of that, what will happen means we are observing growth. Whereas this down portion, if we see as it is removed with that phloem tissue, no growth we are going to observe in this part of the ring whichever is made in the down direction. Have you followed children? So with this also we can learn that phloem tissue is helping in transporting the food material, and this is going to phloem tissue, whichever is transporting food material, is helping in growth and development of all the parts of the plant. Is it clear to children? So just now I said that many kinds of agents are there which are causing harm to the plants. Okay. So here economic importance, we must know great loss is caused to the plants because of aphids means they cause loss to the crop plants. Whereas trees, if we observe in coastal regions or in forest regions, what is going to happen means some kind of mammals are there, and other animals are there which are going to eat away they bore the phloem tissue. Okay, so the bark is removed. Is it clear to you? So when the bark is removed, when all tissues are removed, and they are going to eat away the stem portions. So if stem is not there, where is the chance of growing all other parts of the plant like leaves, branches? They cannot be seen. So in that way, here what are the animals which are causing the economic loss to the trees in forest areas? If we observe voles. Voles. Is it clear to children? So voles are mammals and they look like rodents. Rat-like rodents. Rat-like rodents. They have very much sharp canine teeth. With that they are going to eat away the content of the stem portions of the plants. Is it clear to you? So voles are causing great loss. They are going to eat away the stem portions. So ikkada ee stem anta korikese anukondi emayipotundi appudu plant, so it will fell down. So no trees will be seen. Is it not, children? So these voles are causing great loss. Apart from that, rabbits also. Rabbits. So rabbits are also going to eat away the plants, small trees, bushy plants, so that the plants will die. Is it clear to you? So if the plants are dying, especially in coastal regions or other in forest regions, what will happen? The plants, if they are not there, so what are the effects of loss of plants? Is it not, children? So to avoid such type of conditions, or where to avoid these animals which are causing harm to the plants, what the people are going to do, foresters, what do? They are going to use the enclosures. Enclosures are used. Okay, wire nesting also they are going to use, so that the entry of voles or this rabbits or other rodents will be stopped and the plants can be protected. Have you followed, children? So in this lesson, what concepts you learnt means you learnt about the human heart, structure of heart, then functioning of heart, different types of blood vessels, then you learnt about the lymphatic system, evolution of transport system, then how the materials are going to be transported in plants. So all that points we have covered. So read the lesson thoroughly. If you have any doubt, please ask your teacher. So that is about the transportation lesson. Thank you.